Hello! 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 It is I. So, we have 8 minutes left according to this timer that I have arbitrarily set into play. The motion itself detailing my acts. And now, for many, for everyone in between, we have a story to read. Something so funny and enlightening and funny again. Don't mind the shared title. It doesn't say Thanksgiving. It says Segundo whatever. Segundo whatever. Anyways, so welcome one and all. You have a special show to tell. And if you want to join me, well, I think we should go read. I'm about to start the event. In around 2 minutes, in fact. This event will begin. Something so funny that it involves my brilliant skills of deduction. Whether or not Joe, the main power of powerhouses, will be Joeing everything else in Brockton Celestial Forge. Now, at this point in time, you may realize I have nothing of value to say. But you're listening, right? Hopefully? Who cares? What really matters is that you're here and that I'm starting the event right now. Welcome! The event has begun. Yes, the event has chosen itself to enact upon this fateful day at 5 o'clock CST. At the dreadful post-morning, or whatever, post-mid-afternoon. What does the M stand for? And PM? It has a meaning, right? There is a meaning to the M. I'm not wrong, am I? Okay, whatever. Well, welcome to the event channel text, if you're going to be using that, or if you really want to just watch the stream, just watch Event Archive. It's there for your pleasure, for your viewing pleasure. And, of course, immediately after I start, I get a message. DM. God damn it. Let's just take a good look at that. Oh, it's a happy face. Wow, that's so nice. Guys, are you enjoying your time here so far? No? Well, we'll get to the reading. Alright, so we stopped at chapter 2 last time. Wow, we really made some progress. Chapter 2! Let's keep on reading. While the function was no better. Wait, okay, so Joe had just finished getting his power of fashion. He made a baton, which is basically a stick. Ignore the dogs. A stick that he really can't fuck up. It's short. Yeah, we ranted quite a lot. Quite a bit. Honestly, deserve it. Fuck all of the stuff that Joe's doing. He has a lot of stuff that he really needs to go. And someone once said that not all steel is treated metal. That is wrong. You kind of need heat in the production of steel for steel to be steel. That's why it's heat treatment. That's why it's a treated metal. But, well, I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide. Let's get back into the reading, now that you have been put up to date. While the function was no better, there was little design touches that added a professional air to it. A sense of sleekness and elegant craft seemed to exude from it despite its incredibly basic design. All the little shortcuts I'd taken were made to look completely intentional rather than as cheat for someone who barely understood what he was doing. God damn it, more DMs. To have a way to see my DMs. Okay. It was somebody saying repost of hate leaf lovers. I agree. Don't you hate herbivores? Okay. Although it'll look completely intentional rather than as... it took some experimental swings with it. The solid metal had a heft to it that would probably mess someone up badly if they caught a blow. The balance was a bit off, probably to be expected with my complete lack of weaponsmithing experience. How the fuck do you mess up a baton to the point that the balance is off? Did you not make a cylinder? What happened here? What happened at the end of the baton? Why is the baton heavy on one end and not the other? Did you add something to it? Did you shorten the stick? Okay. I'd gone for the design because it was the most basic thing I could think of. Oh, right, we read all that. That was about the baton shit, how it was apparently impossible to mess up. And he messed it up in the forging process, but... So there I had it. Basic cape equipment, significantly heavier towards offense rather than defense. But... no, defense rather than offense, but that was better than the alternative. With this, I could actually do it. I could go out and be a superhero. That led to another... He accidentally made a club. Right. Wait, he put a skull on top of the baton? Why would he make us like, clubs are better than batons infinitely, but a little heft, if you were making a proper club, you'd have a really dense metal at the top. A little heft is not what you want for a club, because that's not gonna do much. Otherwise you have xylophone things, you know? Like, sure, it's heavier than the stick, but it's still not gonna do that much damage compared to the stick. In fact, you could just wield it like a sword at that point. Clubs can fuck people over. It really does depend on the metal that the club is using. It also depends entirely on whether he understands what screwing up a club means. It means overextending and leaving yourself extremely open. So... 2 items, no matter how powerful, did not make a costume. I had a power that could pull together any style I'd want to go with, but I didn't have much to work with on that time up front in terms of skill, materials, or even a theme. I'd not given up too much thought to what my cape debut would be like. Sitting before the Celestial Forge had been so intimidating that I kinda just assumed that whatever I would end up with would create a self-evident identity. Well, now I kind of had one. What identity was I going to go with? If I went out and now I'd be debuting as a highly durable, low-strength brute with a couple of pieces of nicely made equipment. That was a far cry from the technological hero I'd been imagining. It was by no means a bad power set to have, but considering most of my other powers were going to be tinker-based, did I want to go with that? Not really. But I didn't know what I was going to end up with next. If I got a couple of support or utility powers before I landed something that let me start making high-tech items, would I be comfortable waiting around for whatever my first crafting power would be? Probably not. I didn't have that burning need to head out and seek combat that some passengers created. All mine wanted to do was to complete the Celestial Forge. While that would normally make him risk-averse, it was better growth of my reach when I was active. It sped up over the last week as I settled into my hero prep and had been getting much faster recently. I knew that getting active in the Cape community would be my best bet for landing new powers. As I considered things, I felt my passenger's excitement as the constellation swung close. I closed my eyes and focused on it. It was the same constellation I had failed to connect to with my... This time my power was strong enough to latch onto a mote as they flew past. Unlike last time, this took every ounce of my stored energy to secure the link. Finally, I had a connection and I could tell what that constellation was. It was the Alchemy constellation, and the mote I had connected to was Evermore Alchemist. With the connection made, flooded my mind, specifically knowledge of how to combine 22 mundane materials and 35 unique combinations that would produce instant effects on the level of parahuman abilities. I had not gotten a crafting ability, I'd gotten a combo platter of superpowers, linked to a crafting ability. And they were serious powers. I mean, not even one of them is really street level, if we went back to it. I mean, building level, but sure, okay. Some of these could duplicate blaster effects that were strong enough to maim, if not outright kill. Yes, that is really serious power. Especially in Worm, yep. Especially in Brockton Bay, where Purity exists, who can level buildings. Maim and outright murder. Very strong. I would need to be very careful about how I use them. The formulas were divided into light and dark alchemy. Essentially, offensive and defensive. The defensive formula had combinations that could be used to heal. Heal! I was new to the Cape Seam, and having Panacea in the same city kind of skewed perception, but healing powers were incredibly rare. I'd read a theory that there were no healing powers, that all healing happened was either just a side effect, or a creative application of another type of ability. That was definitely not the case here. I took a breath to calm myself down. There was something I needed to assess. Yo, tired moment. Okay. I had been expecting maybe some kind of mechanical expertise or plans for a set of ray guns or jetpacks. I was not expecting 35 new powers to be dropped into my lap. Actually, reviewing the nature of the formula, it wasn't right to call them powers. There was a mechanism to this that was a lot more nuanced than most powers. I knew how to trigger base effects by combining regents, but there was an immense amount of space for improvement and refinement of technique. I would need practice. I would need practice to be able to get the full potential of this ability. To be honest, mid-level blaster powers are overrated when guns exist. Mid-level blaster powers like completely obliterate people, so it's brute killers. I won't deny, they are kind of overrated. A mid-level blaster power? Alright, so high level would be Purity, low level would be Gallant. Mid-level would be a ray gun. Like, you know, Tinker Tech ray guns. Shit that just shoots through and pierces through. Something like that. That would be a mid-level. It's basically a gun, but better. So, like, fire from Lung at a level of, like, when he's 10 feet tall. That's a mid-level blaster. Enough to melt straight through steel beams, but not enough to actually be building collapsing. Lung gets stronger, but most people don't. Another good mid-level how tall was he? He was actually 30 feet tall, I think. A mid-level blaster would be Laser Dream. Actually. She's a good specific... Bullet to the lung will kill most people except specific brutes and tinkers. Most tinkers completely ignore that, but yeah. Bullet to the lung will kill most. It's just easier to use a blaster. Star Wars blasters, actually, are really strong. Anyways. Fortunately, in most cases, the required regents are fairly common. There was one formula that required a specially built amulet and another that needed a specific and obscure breed of pepper. But most of the rest could manage with things like wax, water, vinegar, or grease. Some would be harder to find, but still relatively. Water was the only one that was likely, but would be likely to raise red flags, and that was only needed for one formula. Though that one formula was a doozy. One of the trickier regiments to supply would be the plants. Would faster than light ram be a high-level blast? Yes. One of the trickier regiments to supply would be the plants. Aside from the aforementioned obscure pepper, the formulas also used roots, mushrooms, and acorns. Getting a good supply of those would take some doing. Would take some doing. I have no idea what that means. Would take some doing. Doing what? So what did I have to work with now? My workshop had replenishing supplies of grease and iron that I could raid. Grease? Why the fuck does your workshop have grease? Hold on a fucking second. Why is there grease in his workshop? What's the point? What? That's something I didn't expect. Use it for mechanisms. Lubricant. Okay. So, it's only a lubricant. What type of grease is he using? Like, what type of grease was he given? What is the greasy grease? Yeah, when I hear grease, I immediately think of hamburger. Just like straight up all the food, all the meats providing grease. I know it's definitely not that one because there's no fucking way a workshop is providing you fucking meat grease. Standard jump chain brand grease. So Nazi grease, I see. World War II grease for the rockets. Alcoholic. Funnily enough. Now that was an interesting time. Most people just started making planes just because they could get drunk. General purpose lubricant. Why is it called why is it called grease? Just call it a general purpose lubricant. A GBL. Nah, then people will think of it as a off-brand LGBTQ. Can't just call it the GPL. What would that be? Gay, lesbian, gay, platonic lesbian? Synthetic oil, coconut oil. WD-40. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, let's go back to this story. I don't know why the fuck you need grease for these, but... That alone was enough for a couple defensive formulas. I had water to work with, but that didn't open up any new possibilities. Likewise, cooking oil would also work for formulas, but not as well as petroleum products. Still, nothing possible there without the additional regents like wax or roots. Still, I wasn't going to let this go. Use veggie oil, just improvise. Canola oil. What is this? He pulled out a giant jug of canola. What is he doing? Still, I wasn't going to let this go. I got some stock and milled off a small piece of iron. Then I got 2 lumps of grease. In a movement that felt both natural, completely natural, and totally alien, I mashed them together and threw the mix into the air above me. It burst into a light and coalesced around me, wrapping my body in a reflective barrier. The reflect formula created a field that reflected any supernatural effect back at its source. It only lasted a minute, but it was a phenomenal defensive ability, and I could pull an effectively infinite source of regents to power it. How is that useful in Worm? Nothing there is actually supernatural. It's all technological. Scientific. What does supernatural even mean here? What's Grease doing? He made shard bullshit equivalent to magic. Yeah, and that led to Avalon being able to be pierced by Sting by word of God. Clearly I don't trust that bullshit move. Shards are supercomputers, yes. There's no way they use magic. They're not the moon cell. And even the moon cell barely uses magic. Okay. I decided that was enough for now. I had a major power here. Tomorrow I would head out and seriously stress my finances. I need regents and, more importantly, a way to carry and access them in the middle of the field. The components of a formula weren't that bulky, barely a handful, but they were consumed on each use. I'd have to go out well supplied and would not be on the clock in any drawn out fight. And would be on the clock. Also, if anything would trigger tinker warnings, it would be my upcoming shopping spree. There were not many mundane reasons to buy large amounts of sulfur. Less for pranks. Still, limitations or no, I had an incredible ability. This was some serious power that someone could build their entire career on. For me, it was just an incidental part of the Celestial Forge. I went to bed that night with more optimism at my situation than I had felt in the entire week since my trigger. Interesting. Call shards magic by how high-tech they are. Magic is just esoteric physics in many settings. I don't consider that magic at that point. I just consider that false magic. It ain't magic if it isn't beyond physics. Forge DC? Yeah, there was actually well no, I don't think there's Forge DC. I know there are Forge Marvel. There was a Forge Young Justice actually, so yeah, there are Forge DC stories. I have no idea what the Young Justice one is going on, but it was made by Acolyte. Forge Young Justice? I forgot. I forgot where it is. I know it existed. I think it was made by Acolyte. I forgot. I think it might be the Ringing. No, Under the Mountain. Is that it? Let me go look at this one. No. I know there's one of them that has Young Justice. It's just that I don't really read most of these anymore. It's probably an SFW. So Young Justice fic. One of these fan fictions are Young Justice. It could be dead, it could be alive. I have no idea. In all honesty, I've not really paid up to the times. So Child of Iron, I don't think is that DC? I thought that was Marvel. Okay. Right. Y'all want to get back to the reading? It's also an SFWQQ gay. Honestly, I dislike Child of Iron. Bad story. Nothing to do with Acolyte, even though I disagree with that guy a lot. Just bad story in my opinion. Poorly written. Barely handfuls to limitation. This was no, I went to bed. Okay, we already read. He doesn't. Okay, Fornax. I disagree with that guy even more. I dislike Fornax as well. Not as much as I dislike Acolyte, but that's because I rarely talk with Fornax. Too much oof in the chat. What is Fornax? What is a Fornax? What is Fornax? The Fornax. Maybe we should have like some music, like calm, chill, barely there music. Something that adds a little not actually with lyrics though. Right, that was why I disliked Fornax, because he had an entire argument that the only people know that the only reason Fate got popular was fucking anime on Netflix. Yeah, Fate Zero totally inspired Fate Grand Order's anime, guys. It totally led to Fate Grand Order getting an anime. Also, Netflix totally made the Fate Grand Order anime. Yeah, that was fucking stupid. Fate was made popular by the visual novel and not the lewds. The lewds were only there to gain traction as a visual novel because visual novels are, back then, they didn't grow popular because of lewds. The NSFW in Fate was actually here because it was added last minute. Like, nobody cared about the NSFW in Fate. They didn't need to. Fate had an interesting premise. It had an interesting story. It was completely unnecessary to have it. Though it did add a few bits of lore. Yo, I remember there was an article of, yeah, it was an ecchi. I remember there was an article of a Fate Grand Order player who was like, who like had a mental breakdown after realizing the original Fate visual novel had NSFW content in it. I remember reading an article like that. That was fucking good. Oh no. Poor dude. He never knew. When the original material has porn in it. My entire life was a lie. I realize now that up to this point, I've been wasting my hours every day. Life has an end. I shall reach it. Seriously though, should I have like some... I know a guy who truly believes hentai is rape because the characters don't consent. uh, uh, hentai characters don't consent, thus rape. That's a take. An interesting guy doesn't job. An interesting guy doesn't even scratch the surface on that one. I think that has to be one of those you have to see it to believe it type things. There ain't no fucking way. Just like staring. Hard eyes mean it's not rape. Like staring into the sun. What, you want to look away? Nobody's forcing you to stare at the sun. Also, it's blinding. Beautiful but painful. Who the fuck stares at the sun and goes, "Oh, that's a beautiful white. That's a beautiful amount of light entering my eyes." The sun isn't beautiful. It's everything that the sun causes that's beautiful. The horizon, the I don't know. The sun itself does not look beautiful. Seeing a gif of every single bit that happens on the sun, sure, that's beautiful, but we can't see that. How much light is in my eyes when I stare at the sun versus how much light's in my eyes when I stare at a computer screen? Tell me, Job, do you know? Enough is in my eyes. Yeah, enough light to see, but more than enough to cause blindness. I, already needing glasses, probably don't want more blindness, so why would I stare at the sun? It's painful, it's annoying. And everyone's a vampire nowadays. They can't even look around without creasing their eyes. It's like they live inside the building. Hold on a second here. Is that a body pillow in the back? That's a yikes, bro. Also, that clock sucks. Official certification, clock bad. Alright, guys. You guys want to hear about Joe's early run? The chapter 3 of the Celestial Forge? The Celestial Forge? Or do you want to read about some random fan fiction that may exist? Maybe we can even read Karina Kanari's B&HA Adventures. I think I streamed reading that before. I know I recorded it a long time ago. Read My Immortal. I've done that multiple times on stream. I don't really like the fic. And also, reading it isn't even a headache. It's boring. Dun 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 dun. Man, the amount of people watching the stream, totally super high, guys. We totally don't need more people watching that beautiful stream of mine. We can't keep track long enough. Where can I get the YouTube link? I don't know, maybe there's an archive channel, you know, where I post the YouTube link every time. I don't know about that, may exist. I've never known. Oh my god. I'm hearing terrible music. Is that Katy Perry? Oi! I can literally hear you through multiple walls. What the fuck? Bruh. Do you read NSFW fanfics? Maybe. Would that get banned by YouTube? Actually, interesting story. You guys know Yami Mash, I hope. He's one of the, Yami Mash was one of the great, people of during the FNAF craze. FNAF 2 specifically is where he got real popular. He did a lot of Slender content too. But he was really entertaining. He a FNAF erotic fan fiction, a gay one, Yowie, on his YouTube channel. You can now argue with yourself. Fuck you. No, you. How dare you say fuck you to me? Lord and Savior Dark Wolf Shiro. Yo, I'm gonna read fix and he's gonna feel called out when I mention it's dog shit, and then he's gonna spam my comment section with his entire Discord going, how dare you, fuck you man, you're a little pussy, come up in Discord. Why would I talk to little bitches like you guys? Read as Steven, his girlfriend puked. The guy that did the pregonant. Is that PM Seymour? Shiro's an edgelord. Dude, his fucking name is Dark Wolf White. Ooga booga! Okay. Seriously. And Dark Wolf White. How's Pran getting warmed? I've gone through. I actually never had an edgy name in any of my. I have no idea if the wolf is dark or white, but I've never actually had that edgy of a name. Evil MC, manipulative MC, gamer fanfic, inspired by Dark Wolf Shiro. Furry alarm, furry alarm. Jack of Blades is what job was shortened from. Oh, okay, that's why you're Jack of Blades, loser. Gamer framed a shit on a franchise. My game character when I was edgy, the Dark Angel. The Dark Angel. Hey guys, you ever hear the Dark Angel in Call of Duty? The edgiest I've gotten other than was actually Sodafied Psycho for my fanfiction username. And that was actually a change from a previous username that I've forgotten. It wasn't that edgy though. Don't worry. I think it was just something like criticization or something. Kids raping and singing. My first ever username was a PSN username. You just got served 12. That was actually recommended by my cousin at the time, who was like, names you could do is you just got served 12, and I was like, okay, type that up. He was like, no, that was an example, and I said, I don't care. Sounds good enough to me. Most gamer fics are complete trash, but I love the premise. Yeah, I love the premise. I would love to have the power, but most people don't deserve the power, and most people are complete fucking dog shit at writing it. It's more like reading a melodrama than actually reading a story. Yeah, there are a few, like, the roles we play. There was also another one. What was it? What was it? Served verily. Anyways, the roles we play: a deep South Blue gamer, a gamer in South Blue. Is that it? Come on, come on, come on. Thinking. I'm pretty sure that was it. It was made. It's still ongoing. For some reason, games we play or the roles we play or whatever. Not the games we play. It was the roles we play. I think. Playing our roles. By the Grimblade. I personally don't really care about the games we play. I've read that story. Yeah, playing our roles died. For some fucking reason. The author was like, oh, I survived COVID and all. Just read up on what I'm like on my profile. He hasn't updated since September of last year. And that fucking sucks. Was it last year? Ruby Fix have a lot of decent... If you ignore all the crack fiction, all the White Rose ships, because every story with White Rose is basically garbage. It's a toxic relationship. I don't know why people actually like it. Do people really like Weiss that much? Why are they shoving Weiss on Ruby? Was it because of that one friendship scene? Where they're like, oh hey, sorry, let's study. Wow, prime shipping material. Yes, let us study. A good Ruby fic playing our roles. There you go. I haven't read any Ruby fics for a long while, actually. The ones that I do are Adam shit. I like reading stories about Adam Taurus because Adam's one of the better characters compared to everyone else. At least he isn't. At least he, before Volume 5, wasn't a punk-ass little bitch like everyone else. Gotta go do laundry. Vice. Why do I pronounce Vice like that? Cringe. Okay, fair. Vice. Vice. Vase. Vase. Vase City. Why is it Vase? Uno dos. Uno dos is Spanish. What is it? Eins, zwei, drei. Eins, zwei, drei or drei? 1, 2, 3. Wies. Weiss. Whatever, her name sucks ass. Probably not even actually... It's probably not even actually pronounced German in the show. Why is her name, like her first name, German, but then there's Winter and Whitley? Those aren't German. I'm pretty sure those aren't German. Wait. I remember this fic. John gets caught and tortured. He gets his dick cut off. He's fine because he's trans. Hey, Chief. We have guns, right? We are legally allowed to have guns. Can we shoot these people? Clearly, some words are not meant to be spoken. There's a limit to freedom of speech, right? Should just be prevented from being spoken. Weiss. Wise is how they pronounce it. Voice. There we go. Wise. The why is Schnee? Why is Schnee? Why is Schnee here? Why'd you repeat yourself? Wagun. Wagun Voldemort. That fic is fighting words. John to Joan. Okay, so robotic limb. What's so special about this GIF? No. Yeah, that's a GIF. I was confused for a moment. Did I read the new Battle Royale novel? What is that? What is the new Battle Royale novel? Normal leg. I'm pretty sure that fucking breaks physics. What is she doing? I don't think the knee's supposed to bend like that. Four times jointed. So she has more joints on her knee? How many joints needed to do a 360? Okay. Oh, damn. Dark side is the force is a pathway many abilities some consider to be unnatural. Damn. Palpatine moment. Alright, so you guys want a random or do you want me to keep reading this garbage? I'm calling it garbage even though it's really a good story. If you can ignore a lot of the beginning. High quality garbage, yeah. Isekai Battle Royale. I was an MMORPG player transported into an FPS world. Mmm. Ah, that's delicious. A delicious story. The beginning is the best part. The best part is everything before Bakuda. Fugman fix. Well, with a name like that, his personality is guaranteed to be shining. Oh, hey, Zero. Yo, Zero, you here? Oh, you want to read a story? Or you try this one. What do you got, Zero? What do you got for me, bro? Let's go, Reaper Man. Reaper Man, what are you doing? You gotta show me. Clapping my hands. That means go faster. God damn it, he's on the phone. There's no way. Dark Wolf Shear's Wormfic. I saw it, I just didn't care for it. It's made by a faggot. I'm not gonna read it. Just saying. Like, that may sound homophobic, but I'm saying that in the nicest way possible to the faggots. I barely even use that word for gay people, actually, so whatever. Not Fugman. I'm talking about Dark Wolf Shiro. Found a random gamer fic. Yeah, well, Zero sent me the Warcrafter. South Park definition of faggot. Hey, you guys. Have you ever heard how to become a Casanova? You should totally check that video out. I made it. Get a plug somewhere. Here, I'll even show you guys the link. This one is funny. Dark Dick Whitey. Dark Dick Whitey. Born of Caution. Anyways. Alright, see ya, Job. Have fun, bruh. Totally should watch this video. It's very funny. Anyways, do it after. You guys wanna... Oh, play the game differently. Oh, it's by... I remember this fic. By Merliner. This guy. Another one inspired by Dark Wolf Shiro. The Optimistic Gamer was actually one of the fics that I was hoping would be good. The problem was, it quickly turned out, no. The Optimistic Gamer could have been good. It could have been. It could! It wasn't. It was a shame. Amongst the marks of everyone else, we the people, disappointed. Okay. We the people. You guys... maybe I should get something to drink before this. Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon Jinn. Queef the people. Job was DMing me for some reason. I have no idea why. I was constantly checking my actual Discord to see what he's saying. Zero! Zero's dead! No! Why is he dead? Hey, you. Okay, I'm gonna what is he saying? He's saying that he left. A good fic to read? What's so funny about good fics? Point? Yeah, but I need to entertain the masses somehow. I have to bully them or something. The way your picture reminds me of this, damn bro. Damn bro. Gotta... Oh, Zero's back. He's alive. Heliocentrism. Da 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 do. We need a fic that is so bad it's funny. So bad it's good. Alright. Everyone sees the world differently. Namikaze Minato just sees the world a little more differently than usual. Oh, so he has autism. It's not your chaotic evil alignment that's the problem, or Orochimaru, or whatever the fuck. It's just that if you really wanted to become Hokage, you shouldn't have made your charisma your dump stat. The gamer Minato, AU that you never knew you wanted. Okay. The prologue. A protagonist is you, in which our tale begins, even if it is not the actual quite beginning. Being a shinobi, in all honesty, simply meant that you could tell common sense to fuck off, and common sense would listen. Most shinobi could laugh in the face of gravity by the time they hit puberty, and had the poor law of conservation of energy sobbing in a corner by the time they hit their prime. That's inaccurate. That one is inaccurate, I know that one. But okay. Go even higher on the power scale. And you've got shinobi who could twist the laws of the universe into squeaky balloon animals. At the truly absurd end of the scale, even death itself became nothing more than a hapless telemarketer who could be dismissed at will with a simple ignore call. Man, that's some very strong words for Naruto. Chakra? Ah yes, ninjas. Ninjas and Naruto ain't shit. People be like, oh, they're based off of the old shinobi. No, they aren't. I am a bit of a ninja myself. Incredible reality warping power came at a steep price, though. That price was usually any sense of self-preservation, morality, reason, reasonableness, or general mental wellness. Bonk, go to jail. Anime style. Namikaze Minato was just a tad stronger than most shinobi. Logical flee followed that he would just be a bit tad crazier, too. Fukui Toko Fukui Toko had not set foot up. Real ninjas are terrorist farmers. Minakais. Minakais. Minamo. Had not set foot outside of Konoha's walls in decades. Yet she still had a more accurate grasp of the state of Fire Country than the most active shinobi. She was a matron of the village's largest orphanage, and her kids came from everywhere, from ancient China to modern Japan. From children of shinobi killed in action to refugees evacuated from the turbulent Iowa border. Her children were far easier refugees. God damn it. Her children were far easier to read than the heavily censored news that filtered through its shinobi village. She could find the truth in the hollowness of their cheeks and hear it in the cries of their nightmares. The cruelty of the world beyond the Konoha's walls didn't surprise her. The resilience of the children who survived it there, however, never failed to catch her off guard. They always came to her a little offbeat, a little odd, but Tokyo had learned to take it all in stride. The young boy currently No, the ancient China to modern Japan was not in part of the story. I was just including it. Anyways. The young boy currently sitting in the middle of the playroom was a little odder than most. He was a very quiet child, with a loud dandelion blonde hair and strikingly blue eyes that would probably break hearts left and right once he grew up. It was the third day in a row he had spent hours just sitting in the middle of the playroom, repeating the same series of motions over and over and over again. The boy had an old picture book that some kind soul had donated to the orphanage balanced across his lap. He opened it, glanced at the title page, and then closed it. Your int has risen. He then opened it again, glanced down at the title page again, then closed it once more. Your INT has risen. INT has risen, and again your INT has risen, and again your INT has risen. His dedication had long since left the territory of childish stubbornness and barreled into the realm of worrying obsession, deciding it was past time for an intervention. Imagine dragoning these balls, dumbass. Imagine drag on these nuts. Anyways. Deciding it was past time for an intervention, Toko knelt down to the next voice and asked kindly, "Would you like me to read that out loud for you?" The boy shook his head, his bright hair contracting the light in all directions like a sunburst. He continued opening and closing the bitch without opening and closing the bitch. Okay, opening and closing the book without peeling his eyes away from it for even a second. Well, would you like to read it out loud for me then? New quest, regale Fukui-san with the adventures of a fluffy bunny? Accept, cancel. Toko offered instead, hoping to appeal to the fierce self-sufficient streaks he all too often in order. This inquiry gave the boy pause, his head tilted side-like in contemplative pose, before his face finally broke into a shy smile, and he gave Toko a small nod. Accept! Cancel. He softly cleared his throat and held the book out in front of himself as far as his little arms could reach, so that she could see the pictures too when he started reading. It was a simple book. Each full-page illustration was accompanied by only a simple sentence. But Toko was impressed by the boy's fluency all the same. Many civilian orphans never became literate, certainly never at such a young age. When the boy finished, quest complete! +10 reputation with Konoha. Waiting for someone to get pissed at that pronunciation. Unless it's actually how you pronounce it. Your int has risen! Toko could have sworn she heard a soft chime in the back of her mind. Ding! Your int has increased to 41! Kawaii Noah. Kawaii Noah. Yes. The boy's bright blue eyes almost seemed to grow even brighter. It was an off-putting sensation, as if she had just missed something very important. It was a feeling Toko knew all well. It wouldn't be the first time a child like this had passed through the orphanage. Fukui Toko had seen a lot of children come and go. She trusted what her gut was telling him about this one. Toko very gently patted the boy's head. You're Minato-kun, right? Namikaze Minato! Minato! Coming out of the closet, damn. What happens if someone swallows one of the inventory screens? There was an odd tilt to his smile that Toko couldn't quite read. It was one of the many things about Namikaze Minato that she would never quite figure out, she suspected. Children like this, who said little but thought much, were ill-suited to the humdrum of the orphanage, or even the peacefulness of civilian life. She scrubbed her fingers through his soft, sunshine blonde hair that keeps being brought up. Sunshine blonde hair. Made up her mind. How do you feel about becoming a shinobi? Prologue complete. New quest. Become an academy student. New area unlocked. Konoha Academy. Now loading. What's the bonus? The bonus is relieving yourself. Competitive pissing. Home to challenge pissing! That's right, challenge! If you can piss straight up in the air without a single drop hitting you. I don't think your ass is canon. It's fiction. There is no canon. Not to real life. Naruto got the right heritage Aryan power. Oh god. That's nice. Akamichi Saburo had signed up for the academy to be an ass-kicking, name-taking god of war. Competitive, I mean casual racism. White power. What do you think is worse? Pissing fire or shitting acid? Shitting acid? I mean, stomach acid exists. Pissing fire can be weaponized. Yeah, it also can melt your dick straight off. One-time use weapon. Yeah, but the shitting acid is multiple use because it depends on what type of acid, what the pH is, and more. No more taking over his mother's restaurant. No more hiding behind Shuza and Nikki when the other clan kids picked on him. He was going to be a real ninja. Enemies would be so scared they flee at the simple sight of him. You won't die from shitting stomach acid, but not usually, but he was going to be great. No, he was going to be better than great. He was going to be a goddamn legend. Unfortunately, he was also going to be asleep in his first class if the teacher kept droning on about this. What makes you truly great shinobi will be not how fast you are, how strong you are, how many techniques you know, even though all three of those actually made shinobi great. The third one made Kakashi great. How fast you are made Minato great. How strong you are made some random great. Totally. Who might have been inspiring if it hadn't been delivered in a bland monotone. It'll be your resourcefulness, your teammates, and your inner will of fire. Barack Hussein Obama. Osama bin Laden. If you squint real close, Osama bin Laden can be summed up to Obama Biden. Hmm. Coincidence? Coinky doink? Me thinks no. Saburo straightened in his seat and tried to look attentive as his teacher gaze drifted in his direction, but he couldn't stop his eyes from watering as he fought down an enormous yawn. I'm so bored and kinda hungry. When is he gonna start teaching us real ninja skills? Saburo, Saburo, said wondered. Hopefully within the next 5 minutes, because Saburo wasn't sure he could hold out for any longer than that without giving in to the sweet temptation of sleep. As if in answer to his prayers, a knock on the door interrupted the teacher mid-sentence. Frowning, the teacher boarded his lecture and opened up the door. It was a masked Anbu. Saburo could see several of his classmates straighten in their seats as a murmur of excitement rippled through the room. Saburo craned his neck to see over the people in front of him. The ANBU made several quick hand signals that caused their teacher to frown, then nod brusquely. He, Samaburo! He turned back toward them and said, Remain in the classroom. Remain in the classroom. Talk amongst yourselves. This shouldn't take long. Then he formed a brisk hand sign as both adults disappeared in twin puffs of smoke. The class immediately exploded into excited chatter. What do you think the Enbu was in for? I bet there's a spy in the academy. Maybe the village is under attack. Maybe Sensei was implicated in some kind of an administrative oversight that caused a huge intra-village political scandal. What? He screwed up and now the important people are mad at him. Well, why didn't you just say so? Before complete anarchy could set in, however, the oddest thing happened. A small pink cherry blossoms began to fall around them, despite the fact that they were indoors. Sound excitement and speculation shifted into puzzlement and confusion. Several people tried to catch the falling flowers. Look up! But the petals winked out of existence as soon as they touched anything solid. Use the skill Observe. We're under level 2 Genjutsu debuff, said the blonde kid sitting in front of Saburo. Your Observe skill has risen. It was the first time he had spoken up all day, and his observation was voiced in the same polite tone that one might observe that, golly, the weather sure is nice today. It took a moment for everyone to process that the weather in question was not, in fact, nice at all. It was a rain of illusionary cherry blossoms that could kill them all. I don't suppose anyone knows the Dispel skill, added the blonde, looking a bit sheepish as he rubbed the back of his head. Saburo didn't end by crap. Expressions in all of his classmates' faces, no one else did either. One kid burst into cute tears, the others made a panicked stampede for the door, or rather, they tried to stampede towards the door, but their motion became more and more sluggish with every passing second, so it looked more like a spontaneous session of interpretive slow dance. One boy managed to wobble all the way to the door before sinking down in a boneless heap in front of the exit. No one else even got that far. Saburo would have gotten up to make his own break for it, but for some reason his heavy head was just too heavy to lift off the desk. Wait, when had he even placed his head on the desk anyway? Why were his eyelids drooping down? They were under attack. This was the worst possible time to go to sleep. But his eyes were so heavy. No, he mourned as the vision faded to black. It can't end like this. I never got to become a legend. I never got to eat my lunch either. Mama's gonna say I told you so in my grave. Or not, because Saburo woke to a mouthful of rags, a splitting headache, and an incredibly uncomfortable knot of rope sticking into his back. Saburo swore at least, or at least tried to swear despite being front tail. Now, penguin line, gather together to my front tail. Penguin Empire style front tail technique. Okay. Despite being gagged and being limited to the vocabulary of a 6-year-old, his first instinct was to scream for help, but alas, his mouth was stuffed with a yucky ball of cloth that muffled his voice. Plan B, curl up in a ball and cry like a baby. was likewise considered and discarded, because his eyes were too dry and itchy to summon up a proper sub-session. Not to mention a dude zilch to resolve his current problem. That left plan C, which was to suck it up, ask himself WWND, what would a ninja do, and then do it. Real ninja would probably get out of these ropes first, so Saburo looked frantically around for a tiny cell that anything he could use to untie himself. Unfortunately, his cell was the most boring room ever, with 4 identical walls, a floor, ceiling, a door, and little else. The only thing in the room was a trussed-up 6-year-old, which left him with only truly desperate measures. But Sing Xian, Sieg Xian would just kill himself soon. No. Well, yeah, but usually that requires like some pill. Anyways, but desperate times, summoning up all of his ninja fortitude, Saburo began to chew furiously. Saburo began to chew furiously. The rags tasted like feet. It was a small mercy was that they were old and tattered, no match for his teeth of a kid who drank a whole glass of milk every day. He had just finished chewing through the gag and started gnawing on the ropes around his wrist when he saw 2 small hands curl around the bars of the window of his cell door. A moment later, a rather familiar head of blonde hair popped into view. It was a boy in class who had recognized the genjutsu. Blonde boy peered into the cell for a moment before his face lit up in recognition. "Hello, Akimichi, right?" Saburo nodded mutely. "Are you hurt?" Saburo shook his head before remembering that he wasn't gagged anymore and awkwardly cleared his throat. He said, "No, I'm okay other than being kidnapped." The boy nodded understandably and said, "Let me get you out of here then. Tutorial, lock picking. To pick locks, use a lockpick item on the tutorial. Turn off tutorial messages except cancel. Tutorial messages are now off." It disappeared back out of sight, but there was a few jangling and scraping noises before Saburo heard the wonderful sound of a bolt sliding free. "You have used a skill, lock picking." The door cracked open with a soft creak, and his blonde classmate slipped through the gap without a sound. "Your lockpicking skill has risen." He jogged across the rope to help untie Saburo! Without not even flinching at the now slobbery rope knots. He made short work of them in almost no time at all. Saburo was free to rub at his wrists, which were sore, but surprisingly not chafed. Weirdly, their captors had been nice enough to add a layer of cloth to cushion his hands underneath the rough rope. Quest updated. Allies rescued. 1 out of 10. Once he was free, Saburo murmured, "Thanks, Namikaze," the boy answered, "but you can call me Minato." He led Saburo. Saburo! Saburo! Down a hallway to the right, then left, then another left, then right again. Then he pointed down to the corridor and said, "I took out the guards to the exit. I don't think they've respawned yet. If you keep going straight, you should be able to get out without running into anyone." In fact, Saburo took 2 steps down the hall before realizing that Namikaze hadn't followed. Hmm. Do-do. For a moment. You didn't want to ruin the rest of exercise. You learned a lot. Yeah. Smeared with dirt and helping Shimura. Saburo still walked up. Times New bastard Lamau. Anime is a mistake. Actually, there was a video of that that I have. So, let me grab that video. Here it is. A beautiful, lovely anime video. Modern Warfare 2, but it's anime. It's amazing. In ways I never suspected. Wow, it's 6:07. That's an entire hour. Shut up with your Times New Bastard, bro. Loser, you just did. Get wrecked. If you keep up, you're the one not using it, loser. It's tough to be smart, okay? I understand. Now, for the Christmas mood. Wants to tell Cthulhu what they want for Christmas. Eldritch waifu. Let's at Cthulhu. Cthulhu can help us. I want to Dictus. Isn't that the Vanos cactus shit? Ku is a registered sex offender. Not that one, though. You're thinking of the other Ku. Is it Cthulhu or Ku Kalane? What? Both are registered sex offenders? I am a registered sex offender. I stuck my dick into a blender. My god. The Cthulhu waifu. Dictus. Coctus. Vanos Gaming Coctus. Beak with teeth. Are they? Is that true? Yeah, but Cthulhu isn't a squid. Cthulhu is not the Kraken. Potato, potato. Fuck you, you're potato, tomato. Well, guys, I'm actually feeling kind of fucking tired. It's potato, potato. Fuck you. I pronounced it correctly. Potato, potato. Potato. How can I be wrong? It's potato, potato. Clamato, clamato. Chet is dead. Post Juniper. Fuck Juniper. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hey there. It's potato, potato. And if you think clamato, clamato is anything but clamato, clamato, you're wrong. Also, Chad is dead, post Juniper, gay as shit. Fuck you. I'm killing all your family members. Anyways, have a lovely day. I think I'm gonna go now. I'm extremely tired and I have nothing else to do. Clamato? Clamatio? Climatios? See Lemonado. Hail science. Hail science. Hail science. Science beyond all comprehension. Spoiler. Bruh. Spoiler. Bruh. That is kinda gay. Anyways, I'll be heading out. This was a lovely stream. Thank you all for joining. This was a lovely day. This was Mystical Arcane. No, Mystical Arcane is gone. Ah, shit. Nicolie is gone too.